Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I'm going to speak about the concept of wealth and mutual cooperation. It's very important in our tradition. We find that wealth within of itself, it has a mutual benefit in terms of bringing cooperation between different parties. And it's interesting because Ibn Qudama, a famous scholar, he mentions al-manfa'a fi yadi sahibik, that the benefit is in the hand of your companion. What does that mean? It means actually that whenever you need to do anything in this dunya, anything which is trivial even, you are actually depending upon other people. For example, your car breaks down at home. There's an element there where you will be relying on someone to help you, or call the AA, they'll come to your house. And so they'll fix your car in exchange for wealth. If you want to eat, for example, breakfast, you're having some egg on toast, you'll find that in order to buy the eggs and the bread, you have to go to Tesco's. And so there'll be an exchange, there'll be a transaction. And so what you find is that actually everything that we do in this world, even within wealth, there is an element of interaction and cooperation with other members of society. And so what does this mean? It means that we don't live in a bubble. When we deal with wealth, we are dealing with many different types of stakeholders in our lives. And so there's a particular khuluq and character that we must have. And so 5 things I want to mention, which is mentioned by the scholars, is that anyone dealing with wealth and others, what they should have intrinsically. The first is the concept of knowing what is halal and haram, making sure that we spend our wealth in that which is halal and we are staying away from anything which is haram. The second thing is sidq, which is essentially to be truthful, making sure that we're truthful in our dealings when we're buying something, when we're selling something, that we are dependable, that we're making sure we are good with people when we're dealing with them. The third element is amana, the concept of trust and making sure that we're accountable. The concept of amana is mentioned in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil uqud. O you who believe, make sure you adhere to your contracts. And so this is very important, that when we enter into contracts and things with people, that we maintain our word with what we do. The fourth element is concept of taysir, which is being easy with people. Of course, people will find things difficult as they go along. And so making sure that you're looking after them, making sure that you are there for them. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. That Allah wants for you ease, but He doesn't want difficult for you. And so this element here is something that we should be with people as well. And the final one is the concept of samaha, and actually overlooking and making sure that we are forgiving others for any transactions that may have taken place which are against what we want. And we find with these 5 elements, these are very important character traits that one should have when dealing with others. And I want to end on a final point, the concept that we know that Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentions in the Quran, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. That when the prayer has finished, Yawmul Jummah, then go out into the land and seek from the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is important for children to know, that Allah Azza wa Jal uses the word bounty. The concept number 1 being that this rizq that we receive, this money and wealth that we have, is a bounty for us, and it is a wealth from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is something that we benefit from. But the second thing, which is just as important, is that it comes from Allah. And this is something which is important to nurture in our children, that all benefit, all rizq, all excellence is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal, He helps us to bring that into our lives and the lives of our children. Just before I leave, just to remind you about the Children's Activity Workbook, which is for raising financially literate children, from the Muslim Money Experts website, which you can download soon.